Shalom, hello everyone. Hello to all of our alumni. It's obviously a great pleasure to be able to share a few words of Torah with you. We find ourselves in the middle of the month of Cheshvan. Cheshvan is often called Mar Cheshvan, the bitter month of Cheshvan, because we don't have any holidays in Cheshvan. We just finished Tishrei. Tishrei is full of wonderful holidays, and we're looking forward, Mirz Hashem, to Kislev, where we celebrate Hanukkah. But here we are in the middle of Cheshvan. No holidays, nothing exciting going on, and it's a little bit of a dry month. And I want to share with you what I think the particular avodah of Cheshvan is, given that we don't have any holidays to celebrate during this month. One of the stories we read in the Torah during the month of Cheshvan is the famous story of the Akedah, the story of Avram Avinu taking Yitzchak up to the altar to bring him as a sacrifice. It's probably one of the top 3 or 5 most famous stories in the entire Torah. And really is the shining moment in the life of Avram Avinu. Really the pinnacle of achievement in Avram's demonstration, passing this ultimate test and demonstrating his allegiance and his dedication, his emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But what's strange about the whole story is that when you really think about it, you have to sort of wonder, why is Avraham the hero of the story? Why does Avram get all the credit? After all, wasn't Yitzchak the one who was willing to give his life al Kiddush Hashem? Wasn't he the one who was willing to die upon that altar? And you could say, okay, maybe Yitzchak was a small child, didn't know what was going on, but Chazal tell us that Yitzchak was actually 37 years old at the time of the Akedah. He knew exactly what was going on. Chazal tell us that Yitzchak, in the Medrash Rabbah, that Yitzchak actually told Avram, tie me down, make sure I don't move so I don't passel or invalidate myself as a korban. So Yitzchak knew exactly what was going on. And so the question is, why doesn't Yitzchak get more credit for the Akedah? Why do we always view Avram as the hero of the story? In fact, the Ibn Ezra is so bothered by this question, the Ibn Ezra can't accept the fact, like the Medrash says, like Chazal tell us, that Yitzchak was 37 years old. He says if Yitzchak was 37 years old, and he's really echoing our question, he says if Yitzchak was 37 years old, and he knew what was going on, and he was a full, mature adult, why isn't he the hero of the story? Why does Avraham get so much credit for the Akedah? But the reality is we have to deal with the story the way it's presented, and we have to understand why Avram is in fact considered the protagonist, the hero of Akedas Yitzchak and not Yitzchak. And Rav Asher Weiss suggests a beautiful, beautiful answer. He says that in truth, Yitzchak demonstrated tremendous gevura in being willing to be sacrificed upon the altar. He's demonstrated gevura in the sense that he had the strength to die al Kiddush Hashem. But Avram did something more. Because while Yitzchak was willing to die al Kiddush Hashem, it was Avraham who was willing to live al Kiddush Hashem. The next day after the Akedah was over, after it was all said and done, it was Avraham who was going to have to wake up the next morning, pull himself together somehow, and go back to his work, to go back to bringing people closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that takes sometimes much more strength. Dying al Kiddush Hashem, as we know throughout Jewish history, but lo aleinu, it should never be these times like that again. Jews, even Jews who were not firm, who were not observant, were willing to give their lives al Kiddush Hashem. But sometimes it's much harder to live al Kiddush Hashem, to every day wake up and daven, and to dedicate our lives to Torah, to mitzvos, to chesed. That day in, day out dedication doesn't get the glory, doesn't get the fame, doesn't get as much recognition. But it's that day in, day out dedication to living al Kiddush Hashem that HaKadosh Baruch Hu ultimately wants from us. And so Yitzchak was a model of gevura, of strength, of being willing to die al Kiddush Hashem. But Avraham was a role model of living al Kiddush Hashem, to show that devotion to Torah and mitzvos on a day in, day out basis when there isn't the camera rolling, when there isn't the big light and show, the pomp and circumstance, the simple day in, day out dedication to Hashem. And I think that perhaps That is the avodah of the month of Cheshvan. Tishrei has these holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Simchas Torah, Shmini Atzeres. There's so much pomp and circumstance, so much excitement. And Hanukkah and Kislev, again, such an opportunity. There's so much excitement to the mitzvos, lighting the candles, eating sufganiyot, all the fun things connected to Hanukkah. Cheshvan doesn't get much glory, doesn't get much attention. And the person who's able to devote themselves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu during Cheshvan, during the simple day in, day out routine of our lives, that is the ultimate goal for us. That is the goal. Not only to be able to be with HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Yom Kippur. Sometimes it's easy to be with Hashem during Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, during Hanukkah, to feel close to Hashem. The challenge for all of us is to find HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Cheshvan, in the month which is cold, in the month which doesn't have all the excitement of holidays, where it's just the simple day in, day out of our lives, going to school, going to work, taking care of our families. But if a person is able to find HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Cheshvan, I promise, then the Torah promises us that it will no longer be a bitter Cheshvan, but it will be a sweet month. A month of sweetness where we find HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the day in, day out routine of our lives. So I wish all of us the bracha that we should have a successful month of Cheshvan, that it should be a month of connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the simple ways of our lives, and Mirz Hashem will be able to celebrate then, in the truest sense, Hanukkah during Kislev. Wish all of you a great day, and I look forward to more opportunities to learn together in the future.